This round starts with 20 seconds of striking, until Stipe goes for a head-on inside single, and Ngannou defends by pushing down on Stipe's head with his left hand. He grabs a whizzer with his right. Ngannou keeps his feet grounded almost during this entire takedown attempt. At heavyweight, it's hard for them to stay light on their feet, which is ideal in defending takedowns, and Ngannou does a good enough job here when taking account for his size. Although Ngannou defended this, something he did wrong was that his hips and shoulders are parallel to Stipe's body, and allow Stipe to keep his head buried to his chest, which gives Stipe constant pressure for the single leg, and makes it practically impossible to sprawl and eventually disengage. While Stipe has Ngannou against the fence, therein was called a pummel battle. The main goal of this is for both of these fighters is ideally to grab at least one underhook, if not both, so that they can control their opponent's torso and dictate the fight, and control their opponent. Once Ngannou finds an underhook, he explodes and Stipe maneuvers Ngannou's momentum straight into another spiral right, and takes Ngannou a minute to get back up to his feet again. But again, it takes Ngannou a lot more energy to get up than it takes for Stipe to control him, and he's clearly much more tired. Even though Ngannou's tired, he still holds an insane amount of power. He can finish the fight at any moment. We can see this here with his overhand that Ngannou throws around Stipe's guard perfectly and lands his right hand on Stipe's chin. Stipe circles away from Ngannou's power side and times a double leg as Ngannou comes towards him. Stipe then transitions to a knee tap, which is basically Stipe blocking the inside of Ngannou's left knee and driving towards that side. This worked perfectly because Ngannou already had a whizzer that allowed Stipe to push Ngannou's upper body to the left, and Stipe finished the takedown this way. Stipe controls Ngannou here till the end of the round while throwing around 25 hammer fists in the span of 2 minutes. In the beginning of this round, Ngannou throws another 1-2 that Stipe parries and slips to the outside to avoid the right cross. He then uses this to transition to a head-on inside single. Watch how Stipe traps Ngannou's left leg with his right leg and transitions to a double leg while still trapping Ngannou's left leg. This allowed him to complete the takedown and landed him into side control. This sort of fighting style is similar to what Javier Mendez meant when he yelled Cain Velasquez style to him in the middle of his fight with Conor. It's similar because Cain Velasquez would also tire his opponents by taking him down over and over again, and then force them to get back up. Although Stipe mainly went for the takedown defensively in this fight, and was also on his back foot in this fight, whereas Khabib was more of a chain wrestler in the sense of pressuring his opponent. Another similarity to Khabib's style is that Khabib was also amazing at making his opponents carry his own weight, making his opponents more tired throughout the fight, which also happened in this fight with Stipe and Ngannou. Here, Stipe again is in the spotlight right position specific to MMA. Watch how Ngannou's base is collapsed. He isn't carrying Stipe's weight, and he's accepting punishment on the ground, while he can't catch his breath for a couple of seconds. But watch what happens the minute Ngannou starts to build his way back up. Stipe forces him to carry all his weight, and focuses on controlling him on the ground. Basically, Ngannou either has to accept punishment on the ground, or drain his energy. Stipe basically did this against the fence for the rest of the round, while landing ground and pound and draining Ngannou with his heavy wrestling. Just look at how tired Ngannou is on the stool. He can barely catch his breath, and although it may seem like they're just hugging, I'm sure an athletic phenomenon like Ngannou wouldn't get tired from just hugging. In the final round, Ngannou throws a left hook, and Stipe once again shoots defensively for a takedown. This time, Ngannou defends well by following a classic wrestling idea, where the head goes, the body follows. So for Stipe to succeed with this double leg takedown, he needs to keep his head tucked to Ngannou's hip. Ngannou disrupts this by using his left hand to sort of muscle Stipe's head away from his hips, which took away Stipe's chest to hip position. This was a smart way for Ngannou to defend, because it takes much less energy to do this rather than sprawl. Stipe then controls him against the fence for around a minute as they both try and catch their breath. Here, it looks like Stipe goes for a very weak outside trip against the fence to force Ngannou's weight to the right. This worked effectively because Stipe used his upper body to move Ngannou toward the same direction that Ngannou doesn't have a leg to base out on. Ngannou sees this and moves his right leg back, defending this. Stipe then goes straight for a double leg, with that same leg trapped behind his, but Ngannou notices this and simply moves his leg back, all while staying on his feet because of a mix of his whizzer and balance. Ngannou eventually threatens a one-arm guillotine attempt, and Stipe stops going for the takedown and starts hand fighting and tucking his chin. From this angle, we can see that Ngannou had a low-wrist guillotine, which takes a lot of forearm and lat strength. And eventually, Ngannou's grip strength begins to fade, and Stipe is able to get out of the guillotine. Ngannou then throws a right hand, and Stipe goes for a double leg, then transitions to a single leg and pushes Ngannou against the fence, where he controls him for the next 20 seconds before Herb Dean separates them. The last 2 minutes are filled with basically Stipe circling away from Ngannou, and both of them throwing one combo strikes at one another. The last fascinating moment in this fight was when Ngannou threw a flying knee that almost landed. Instead, Stipe got hit with Ngannou's thigh. It's hard to say what caused him to miss, because Stipe met him halfway, and it looked like a picture-perfect flying knee. My best guess is that Ngannou initially took too long for a first step, which caused him to hit Stipe with his right thigh rather than his knee.